Hello and welcome to this video. So here I will show you my little MCP server I have been building for the last week or so. So it's very simple. I have been using also a little bit AI, as you can see, and that's just to speed up the development. But basically a MCP server is a bridge between an AI model and an external service. And that makes everything so simple, because when an external service has to speak and to make requests efficiently against an AI model, we would use a MCP server. An MCP server would ensure us that basically it's a protocol, so it's always the same. It knows what to expect. The endpoints will be the same, even though it's similar to a REST API. The output is the same, all of the endpoints. So like here, I am in my roots context file. That's the way I designed it here. So we have our server.ts, that's the entry point, and then we have context roots. And here, okay, I have used well-known. This, if you are familiar to OAuth, is a little bit similar. They also use well-known. That's kind of new, and that's for my schema. This is a public file actually. We will see after it's in our public folder. But then after we have our context, and then we have the content here, v1 content, and that's the output, what we get in return. And so finally we have the model here, and then we have that's another endpoint, is the activities, and Strava. That's just an external external service basically. Recently, what I have noticed, it's a good use case, it's the Google Analytics. So Google Analytics, they have released a MCP server in Python, and it's really good because you can connect your Google Analytics account with your model, with your AI model, and that's super cool. That way you can generate graphs, you can have, like a pie chart, you can use Google Analytics, your account, your data, but in a super smart way. And you can query anything, you can ask anything to the model you connect with. And this is exactly how an MCP server will make the bridge, will connect to the dots with your external service, but could be also a database, even a local database, and your AI model. So yeah, there I have activities using this service, Strava.com, and there I do have the other one, that's a model with the metadata, and then here that's just another one, content, and that's the context, that's the other endpoint, and I register everything there with a hook. That's actually a new addition I have done. I add a hook on error and on request. And if we go to server, sometimes on an MCP server, of course, it will not be designed exactly the same way for the file structure. Sometimes you would see index.ts. In my case, I wanted to have it as server.ts, exactly like this. And then, so you could see something like index.ts. And then I use TypeScript. So I compile the TypeScript files into JavaScript files. If we look in tsconfig, I decided to have dist for the output folder. So all of the JavaScript files, the ones that are compiled into JavaScript, will be stored here. And finally, we have our public folder. You can see that I use Fastify. Fastify is really good. You could use Express or Nest.js. It's up to you. .env because I use a .env file just here for some data. Nothing secret or private here, but I just want to store these details in a env file. It's just cleaner. And then finally, yeah, the path, that's again for the public one, for the public folder. So basically, if we go to public / well-known, just for consistency with the structure, because if we look to context roots, you see it's consistent there. Well-known, and then well-known. And so when we go to v1, I have the schema with all details. And yeah, that's really much how it works. So you can see the hooks are not mandatory. This is again a new addition I have done for the login. It's like a middleware, but again it's more to debug, easier, but it's nothing special. Like I could remove it and it will not change anything to the way how my MCP server behaves. And this is like really the interesting and important part. And so we'll be able to connect Strava to a AI model thanks to the MCP bridge MCP server.